Well, I'm quite clearly insane. I bought with my own money the Alcatel Idol 4 Pro, a brand new Windows 10 mobile running phone in late 2017. Now, why insane? Because, according to the headlines, I've got some here, Windows Phone is now dead. Now, hang on, that's from 2014. Here we go. The end of the road for Windows Phone 2016. Windows 10 Mobile is no more. That's from this year. But how can any of these headlines be accurate if they keep having me to say the same thing each year, implicitly admitting that the writers got things wrong a year before and a year before that? The writers are right about one thing, of course. Microsoft itself, having taken over Nokia's devices business, eventually decided to get out of the first-party phones world, pulling the plug on making the flagship a Lumia 950 range after less than a year. So Lumias are effectively no more. But the OS, the operating system, now Windows 10 Mobile and part of the wider Windows 10 world, continues at a steady pace with monthly Patch Tuesday updates and sometimes twice yearly feature updates as well. It's true that all the latest 3D and pen features from Windows 10 aren't making their way down to the phone, but then why should they? You don't create works of art or 3D models on a 5-inch phone screen. So, what's running this, quote, still alive OS? Well, a surprising number of Lumia 830s, 930s, 950s, 950s XLs, and so on. Some via full production builds, others via the Enthusiast Insiders program, but literally millions of people worldwide, okay, millions, not billions, are still using Windows 10 Mobile every day as their OS of choice on their main phone. And in the last year, we've seen HP launch the Elite X3, large and overpriced, but it's still something of a monster phone specs-wise. Then there's the new Alcatel Idol 4 Pro here, just over £400, including taxes in the UK, which by 2017 standards is decidedly, well, mid-range pricing-wise when compared to the very latest Samsung Galaxies or Apple iPhones. Due for launch next week, look for a price around £850, up around twice the price. But why would I, or indeed anyone else, choose to use something like this in 2017 when the Android and iOS competition offer comparable or better specifications and a distinctly wider range of third-party applications? Well, the pluses and minuses aren't all one way. I've reviewed the Lumia 950 XL, of course, and the newer Idol 4 Pro, both in depth on AAWP. 950 XL is somewhat unique because of its still world-beating camera, in my humble opinion. Its huge removable battery, its replaceable back covers, this is the Mozo one, Qi charging built into the covers, and every other bit of mobile tech. But it's not made anymore, sadly. The Idol 4 Pro is still made. In fact, it's only been on sale for a month or so, and it is in theory the fastest Windows running phone ever made, driving a rather gorgeous 1080p display from a Snapdragon 820 and 4GB of RAM. Being styled after modern handsets, all oleophobic glass and metal, with the main USP being a set of astonishingly good front-mounted stereo speakers. Podcasts, YouTube, Netflix, sat-nav instructions, speakerphone calls, in-game sound. It's surprising how much great speakers on a phone can add to your life. So what of the software, you'll say? There are now lots of cross-platform Microsoft applications, of course, Outlook, OneDrive, Office, and so on. So these can't count as a plus, but there's plenty of synergy if you go beyond cloud syncing applications. Plug a Windows 10 phone into a Windows 10 desktop and it's pure drag and drop. The phone becomes part of the desktop's file system. Just use the files as is. Or set up the desktop's monitor as a wireless continuum display for the phone, perhaps. Then there are Windows 10 AAWP applications that span the form factors, so you get used to application A on your desktop or laptop or hybrid and use the exact same app which rescales its UI as needed on your phone. You don't even have to pay twice if it's a commercial app, since you're buying it once on, quote, Windows 10, and it simply appears for direct download on any other Windows 10 hardware you're signed in on. Finally, there's security, partly through obscurity, admittedly. Because Windows 10 on ARM chips doesn't have any of the old Intel x86 vulnerabilities, or at least none are known, The small market footprint means that no bad guys are going after it, so safety through obscurity isn't too far from the truth. Compare that with the howitzers being aimed at the Android world at the moment with some success. And Windows 10 is still being updated once a month with fixes and patches even outside the more frequent insider ring releases. Are 6-month-old Android phones still being updated? In most cases not. Many Android phones in fact never get fixes at all. Of course, applications may well be an issue. Boutique and niche apps, banking, shopping services are a weak area. Admittedly, you may have to use the browser. Games as well. But for day-to-day stuff like podcatching, social networking, navigation, browsing and so on, Windows 10 Mobile is still arguably up with the crowd on other platforms. Nothing's as easy or as seamless as on the iPhone or an Android, of course, but then you're not following the herd, are you? The path less travelled. And like that path, parts of Windows 10 are downright beautiful. Try using Groove Music or Grover Pro here, or even the AAWP Universal application on an AMOLED screened Lumia 950 XL or Idol 4 Pro, and they're positively luxurious. I'm not blind to industry trends, but I do think this industry is blind to what Windows 10 can offer. And I wanted this video to set the record straight.